Hi, I'm Conor Clements here with Andre de Jong. We're here to talk about all sorts of football. What was the first time you kicked a football? What age were you?
5 years old, where I was playing for Ellerslie AFC down the road up in Auckland. Coached right through to 17 by my dad at Ellerslie, and then got pinched by Willie Girdson over to East Coast Bay. Played there 2 seasons under him. Really enjoyed my time, and then he took up the Canterbury United job and followed him down there for 2 seasons, and then ended up Eastern Suburbs last year.
Willie Girdson, of course. I mean, he was the guy who managed to take you away from your dad. What was it about him that got you away from him, that inspired you to kind of want to play for Willie?
Well, I had him in the under-17s. He was assistant coach, Darren Baisley, and I don't know, we just had a connection that he sort of took me under his wing, and I was almost like a little protege. Through that, we gained a lot of respect for each other, and still do.
Did you have a kind of role model that you watched growing up that inspired you to be that kind of player?
Ozil, actually.
Mr.
Ozil, yeah.
Number 10 role.
Exactly, yeah. So watching him sort of thread balls and sort of, get on the ball in sort of good areas to affect the game. He was always my role model growing up.
And do you have more pride when you get an assist or a goal?
I think a goal still,
yeah.
But equally, if the assist is a really nice one, then
so
I do like to claim a nice assist. So
that's fair enough. The years in Canterbury, did you ever expect that you'd get a call up when you were playing at Canterbury United? It was the first time away from Auckland, I expect, for you. How was that experience?
It was awesome. We had a flat down there, still keeping really good contact with all the boys. Just the memories were awesome. So,
footballing wise, did you really feel like you developed as a player at Canterbury, or was it more kind of you were waiting until that next step where you felt like Canterbury really helped?
Oh, it was huge help. I think just the different experience of living away from home, sort of fighting for yourself. But then also some of the leaders down there, they have like Aaron Clapham and Dan Terrace, Tom Schwartz, like seasoned sort of guys in the ISPS Hunter Premiership. So just learning off them was really cool, and also that experience of living away from home sort of grew me up, and then went off to Aussie. So
yeah. So you started playing in Aussie. It was that second year of your Canterbury United, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. And how did that eventuate? Who got on the phone, or who made that happen?
Sort of went to my dad and said, don't really want to play winter again in New Zealand. Sort of was looking elsewhere, and then he jumped on the phone to Mike Cockrell. Actually, he knew a few people over in Sydney, and then because there's only 2 foreign spots, it's quite hard to get into. So sort of jumped at the chance when Hakoah, my current club, sort of had a place for me, and then played 3 seasons there now, jumping back and forth.
What is it about them that keeps you coming back?
I think it's just it's a great club. I think the culture-wise, I think every year sort of new boys come in, but then the core group sort of stay there, and then the board and the coaching staff. I think it's a good place for me to learn and grow. And
I mean, you've played for this team for a while now. You've made the move in the Premiership, well, the Espis Hunter Premiership now, to Eastern Suburbs. What was the major factor in that, from going from Canterbury, where I suspect you'd been quite settled in this flat with these boys, and you played 2 years for them, and then what made you change your mind and go to Eastern Suburbs?
Probably Danny Hay was a big factor. The fact that I had been away for 2 whole years then, sort of away from home, I thought it was a good chance to sort of live at home for 6 months and then work under a new coach in Danny Hay. So, and he brought different things that Willie can bring in, and I think that's also helped, a different coach and a different sort of mindset towards me.
And you had your best season. I mean, for Eastern Suburbs, you scored a lot of goals, and as few games. I mean, it was 11 goals, 16 games, I think it was. So that's a good return. And that probably factored into the fact that you got into the All Whites squad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Were you surprised when you got the call up?
A little bit, to be fair. I was actually over in Aussie and got a text from Rob Pickstock. So that was a very nice moment. Sort of 6 a.m. woke up and my phone was binging. So. That was always something I'll remember.
Yeah, and what was the feeling like? I mean, you went over for the Intercontinental Cup, and it was New Zealand against Chinese Taipei, Kenya, some very interesting teams in that lineup. What was the feeling like pulling on the shirt and going out there?
Oh, just sort of a dream come true as such. Even coming on when we played Canada in Spain was, just sort of a surreal moment. So, But the Intercontinental Cup was just training and playing those games amongst a good group of guys was a really cool experience. And India as a place was amazing. So
Yeah. I bet that was a
Exactly.
really cool experience.
Yeah.
I got a few tougher questions. I was prepping you for it beforehand. Would you rather score a goal in the Premier League for Arsenal or score a goal for the All Whites at the World Cup?
Big question.
It's a big question, I
Probably
know.
the All Whites.
The All Whites?
It would mean a lot to me, and also friends and family.
Yeah.
That would be, if they were in the crowd and that would be just...
You'd have the dad in the crowd. and
unbelievable.
your mum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the world stage would be amazing.
If you look back on your career so far, I mean, there's a lot more to go, obviously. But if you look back on your career so far, who would you say is the biggest influencer on your career?
Probably my dad.
Yeah.
But then also there's been some good coaches. Lots of my coaches have been lucky to sort of fall into sort of quite wise people and people who have had a sort of good standing in the game. So probably my dad, but then the likes of Danny Hay, Willie Gertz and Darren Baisley, all those guys. Yeah.
What's the best bit of advice you've ever heard on the pitch from those boys? Like what was the thing that stuck with you throughout your career that you've really looked back on and gone back to?
I think just every session trying to improve. So I sort of go in with this mindset that sort of it doesn't matter who's there, you're trying to sort of impress not only yourself but whoever's sort of your teammates and that. So sort of in Hakoah I sort of go to train every time and improve. So just maximising my time really.
Cheers for that, bro.
No
That's
worries,
bloody
mate.
good.
Thanks a lot, mate.